Hey everybody, welcome to another Kingdom Death Monster build video. We're going to be building the Screaming Antelope today. We've got another monster that we're going to face, and this one should be pretty easy. Obviously you can see half of the antelope is here and half of the antelope is here. I think there's 7 pieces total, and only 2 of them are small. So we can get started. And I think we'll just chop all the pieces out so they're all on the table, starting with the first half of the body. There we go. We've got all the pieces out. I'm not going to show all of this on camera because we've gone over this a little bit. But you see, again, that is a bit of sprue that is left. That is not actually connecting onto anything. That is just the foot of this goat. We need to cut that off with the X-Acto knife and maybe sand it down a little bit with the files that I've got. So I'll do that off camera, because it'll just be boring otherwise. And so there's just an example of it having been cut off now. It's a bit rough, but once it's been primed and painted, that roughness won't. I wish autofocus on this camera just worked a lot better than it does. So it'll look a lot better when primed and painted. Trust me, it's a lot better than having a giant hunk of sprue sitting off of it. All right, so with the 2 halves cleaned up, you can see there's a nodule, a peg, I guess, and a hole for that peg. You're gonna pop them in together. And actually a huge seam along its back. Less of a seam in its chest cavity, gaping mouth area. For those not familiar with the antelope, there is a ridge of human teeth along either sides of the chest cavity there. And yeah, my camera's just not having it today. Unfortunately frustrating to have to deal with this. I don't have 100% of the filming equipment I would want for things like this. Obviously, it would be better if I wasn't using a webcam and instead was using a proper camera. Maybe I'll try flipping the mat again. Let's see if that fixes anything. Okay, I think maybe it'll work better with the flat green as opposed to the grid. I think the grid was causing it to freak out a bit. So yeah, so that's going to go in there like that. I really wish I could not have such a huge seam down the spine. I wonder if there is a bit of extra plastic that's causing that. I thought that I shaved it all off. And the sprue wasn't connected to the inside of the cavity there. Well, let's dry fit the tail and make sure the tail fits in the hole. Okay, the tail should fit fine. So this may just be a case of the melting of the plastic will make it all better. So let's get some cement along all those edges and see where we go. Squeezing that together, hoping some of that seam goes away. And I think we're going to have to hold this tight a bit. Luckily, the seam does not look as bad with my eyes as the camera appears to make it look. And I don't know, maybe goats just have like a bare spot on their spine. Maybe their hair parts in the middle, who knows? Or I guess antelopes, not goats. But that is together, and that should hold. And I think I'm going to try to make one last adjustment to my lighting right now to try to fix this up. Again, I wish this was higher quality. It's actually really frustrating. But I don't have the studio that I want or or the setup that I want for this, with better cameras and better, more permanent lighting. But let's go with that. Let's go with that. All right, I've made a change to the camera. Unfortunately, we will no longer be able to do super close-up shots. I guess we can do about there, and we can do about to here. I have turned off the autofocus, which means I probably can never do things like show you real close because it won't autofocus, but at least the camera will stop freaking out. So we're going to do the next, or we're going to do the only front leg here. We've got the front leg, and it just pops in like that. Again, as soon as it goes in, you can kind of see the seams disappear mostly. So that's how you know it's in the right spot. So we're going to cement that up and get it in. And this video should be a lot shorter, thanks to so few pieces and such big chunky pieces for this one. It'll mostly be a troubleshooting the camera video, I suppose. All right, so we'll put that leg in again. Plastic cement is great because it's already connected. Pushing it just a little bit increases that melting and melding of the plastic. And there we go. There's the front leg in. So that just leaves the tail, a horn, and 2 ears. All right, so the next piece is one of its horns. It goes in a little bit oddly. It kind of goes in at a 90-degree angle, but it's because the head of the antelope is tilted. So let's glue up where the antler is going to go. The antlers that we'll hopefully harvest next week. It should be an interesting fight. This thing, so the white lion is a predator. It hunts us. We hunted it, but it's going to attempt to turn the tables and hunt us. The antelope is a prey animal. It doesn't really want to fight us. So it will run away, and it will run away a lot. And we kind of have to chase after it. And if cornered, it'll trample, it'll run, it'll bite. It will perhaps swallow us because this is a mouth down here, technically. But there's the horn in. So there we go. We got the horns on. We got the legs on. It just needs ears and a tail. So the tail goes in super easily. There's a peg and a hole, although it's not actually that deep of a peg. It just sort of gives it a little bit of catch to hold on there. So we'll glue that up. Mostly gluing the surrounding area, then the actual hole. And in it goes. And there's a big fluffy tail. So the ears luckily have a big difference. One is very tiny at the end, and one has a big honkin' peg on it. And that's because one side of the antelope has a little hole, and the other side has a much deeper hole. So you kind of easily can tell which one goes in where. Actually, let's not touch the horn that we just attached side first. So we'll do this ear in this side, dry fit. It just kind of goes in. Seam disappears, and plastic cement will make everything better. And in it goes. There we go. So that just leaves the big ear. I guess I should dry fit that first. I did not do that yet. So yeah, it just kind of goes in there like that. Push that in. Careful to not touch that horn because it's probably still malleable enough that it would go flying. And I can't super get my fingers in here. Well, that is the way it's supposed to go. That looks kind of right, but it looks like Something looks a little off. Well, I think it was just a very tight fit. But there we go. There is an antelope done. One of the tricky parts that I'm not going to bother filming is the antelope kind of stands on its 2 feet way up in the air. And so you're gluing these 2 little hooves to the base, which is a little tricky. Again, hopefully the glue holds it, but I'm probably going to have to basically glue this to the base and hold it like that for 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so to make sure that it totally sets. Otherwise, it'll just sort of fall over. A lot of people will drill holes into the feet and put in paper clips, and then drill holes into the base and put the paper clips into the hole and super glue it so it's much more stable. I don't have a drill to do that, so I won't. But yeah, that's an antelope done. Super quick video for that one. Next week, we will have another build video because we are going to have to go face the butcher, which will be a more complicated, longer build. All of the pieces on this sprue are for the butcher. So that's a lot of pieces. We're putting together like halves of legs. So that'll be fun. Anyways, as always, let me know whatever you want to let me know. Like, share, subscribe. People have been really enjoying the Kingdom Death videos, and that makes me super excited for more future Kingdom Death videos. But yeah, I will see you all next time.